is Melissa Black, and I would like to thank you for joining me today. Before I get started, I would like to show you these shocking photos of how children with disabilities were treated in the past. They often received cruel and harsh punishments for being different, something they had no control over. They were often excluded from society and lacked an education because were excluded from the public education system. This changed in 1975 when two important federal laws were passed. These were the Education for All Handicapped Children Act and the Individuals with Disability Education Act. According to the article, The History of Special Education in the United States, found on the website specialeducationnews.com, the result of these laws was that education must be tailored to meet the needs of the individual child with a disability. As a special education aide in the public school system, I see the need for different types of special education teachers to meet the different disabilities of the special education students. Although the role description vary with different types of special education teachers, they share a common goal of using their patience and dedication to meet the individualized needs of each special education student. Today I would like to speak to you about 3 different types of special education teachers and the disabilities they work with. The first would be the lead campus special education teacher and art facilitator. In an interview with Mrs. Rebecca Schulte at Greenberry Middle School, I learned more about her role as the lead special education teacher and art facilitator. Mrs. Schulte oversees all ARDs. ARDs are annual review and dismissal meetings to determine what services special education students receive. In addition to this, she does a lot of documentation and scheduling of the children's classes. She works with all disabilities on campus, including speech, autism, learning disabilities, audio disabilities, visual disabilities, orthopedic, and all others. She oversees that the needs of these special education students are being met and works with general education teachers to help them in assisting special education students. Her schedule is Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and sets aside an additional 3 hours on weekends for documentation and paperwork. The greatest challenge of Mrs. Schulte's position is working with families and the stigma of being labeled special education. She has to balance the need for services with the desire of services. Her greatest challenge is seeing the children grow. She loves living out her worldly view that all have value and are equal. She enjoys being able to provide support for those in need. The second type of special education teacher I'd like to speak to you about today is a resource teacher. In an interview with Mrs. Sonia Chastain at Greenberry Middle School, I learned more about what it is to be a resource teacher. Mrs. Chastain teaches math and English language arts to special education students with learning disabilities. These students are usually a grade level or more behind their peers. She has extremely modified lesson plans tailored to these children to teach them in a way that they will understand. The greatest challenge of her position is teaching 5 different types of classes with each having a different lesson plan. She spends about 20 hours outside of the school schedule working on these lesson plans. Her greatest reward is seeing the children grow and develop, and for their excitement when they learn a new lesson. The third type of special education teacher I'd like to speak to you about today is a behavior support inclusion teacher. I interviewed Craig Callahan at Greenberry High School to learn more about what he does. He works with children who are emotionally disturbed or have autism and have behavior issues that need support. He has continued communication with students throughout the day and goes into classrooms with them to offer support. His greatest challenge is building tolerance for situations that may arise and remembering to see each child and situation as an individual. The greatest reward of his position is being a positive impact on children that they may not receive other places. He also likes the challenge of the job and finds it more rewarding than general education. Although the roles of a lead campus special education teacher, resource teacher, and behavior support teacher vary, their passion, desire, to help children with special needs is similar, as well as the rewards they reap. No one's quite sure the future of special education, although some believe that the support and assistance of technology will help to narrow the gap, while others believe the gap is too wide and that these special education children still need a specialized setting. As an audience, you can all do your part to support special education. You can volunteer to read to children with learning disabilities, volunteer at Special Olympics, or you can vote for politicians who support funding in the special education program. I would like to end on a note, a quote from Russell Brand. How we treat the vulnerable is how we define ourselves as a species. Special education children are vulnerable and need our support and care to make sure that their needs are being met properly. Although the special education teachers' jobs vary, they use their love, passion, and care to meet the needs of these children. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me speak about a passion of mine, helping those in need.